have anything to say, say it now.
There it is.
There we go. And now take two. I'm Shinigami Tabris. We're playing Dungeons and Dragons. We were doing a recap.
Trying to do a recap.
Yep.
Traveled a lot.
Traveled a lot.
Got nuked by a goddess.
Yep.
Found the Goliaths. They were assholes.
And traveled a tiny bit more.
We also found out that some people can't even remember their friend's name.
So why do we say that the Goliaths were assholes?
Oh, because they made us pay them homage or something. And I thought it was kind of weird.
It's like a toll. I mean, it's...
Think of it like a toll bridge.
I didn't understand it. I just thought he was being mean.
No, it's definitely so the best way to look at it is if you've ever watched any movie where there's a post-apocalyptic waste and it's, hi, we control this territory. We can guarantee that you won't get attacked going through our territory. But for you to go through our territory, it's going to cost you something.
Okay.
And if you don't pay us, we can guarantee that you will get attacked because, well, we're here now.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be the ones that'll attack you.
Did we get Mad Maxed?
I mean, that is a way to look at it, yeah.
Or Steel Brotherhood.
From Fallout, yep.
Yeah.
But it's okay. The more asshole thing is to not even remember your friend's name.
Just gonna keep saying that one.
Oh, you're damn right I am. I loved that character and can't even remember his surname or his clan name, which was said a session prior.
For those
Couple
that
sessions.
do pay attention to stuff like that I've posted, and I'll post it on my Discord later again, World Anvil has been updated with a crap ton of new names.
Mm-hmm.
There's a timeline adjustment where East Hollow is now listed as being decimated.
Fine.
What was the new tribe leader's name?
He was the Firebrand.
Firebrand.
Yeah,
Thank
he
you.
is. He had a symbol under his arm.
Okay.
Yeah, so when he flexed, some magic went through him and lit up veins and so forth, and lit up a symbol on his chest.
Bear totem.
That'd be funny as fuck if that was Sieg's little brother.
Anyway,
And then after we met him, we paid homage and then continued walking.
that's where we left off, was you guys were traveling through their space. We ended on I think it's the 4th diamond of Norfolk.
Second silver of Norfolk, made to town, left at second emerald.
3rd
Then-
emerald.
Then
Started 4th emerald.
I've got started 3rd emerald of Norfolk.
I will erase. And
And it is currently the 4th diamond of Norfolk. AC.
we got it.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't... I don't think the microphone actually picks it up, but it's one of those that will blow these away.
Mm.
What, are you saying we're going to go into combat already?
I'm saying there's a possibility of combat at some point. So, you traveled through the blockade. The description of the blockade was they caught you before you go through it, but basically if you would have tried to force your way through, you go into a funnel, and on each side of the wall were 5 Goliaths standing above that they could fire down upon on you.
lovely.
Definitely type.
And they all made sure that you knew that they were there. You go through that tunneled area for a little bit, and then it opens back up into a little forested area. But they definitely use the natural hillscape to use it as a pinch point.
We're also given a mini side quest. If we happen to come across the village elders, we're supposed to tell them that Firebrand's in charge now.
Yeah. No, he wanted you to bring him back to his area.
Oh. Yeah, because he's in charge.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the other thing that you guys,
Confined children.
there you go, because the orcs stole their kids, supposedly.
Yes.
Orc stealing, a child stealing orcs, as he called them.
I just imagine if we brought Crusher along.
Mm.
That would not have been well.
So, you continue your journey.
Yes.
The rest of the day is uneventful. You make it to your first watch.
I hate my dice.
That would disadvantage.
That's funny.
5 for first watch.
Second watch?
1 second. 20 or 20. So 20.
Okay. Third watch.
13.
Your night is uneventful. Again, it's one of those. Crystal wakes up before a lot of everybody else, and he is his same old.
Loud self.
It's not necessarily loud.
Lumos. Lumos.
Yeah, that's more along the lines.
Right.
He has one volume, and that is aggression.
I don't think it's aggression as much as it's...
It just comes off slightly aggressive.
Righteousness.
That's more the way I look at it.
He's got a high horse.
It's pious.
Aggressive
Yes.
piety.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to make offensive jokes anymore. I'm trying. And I nearly did it.
Anyways, you start your morning trek. I can tell you now there's no rolling of dice because you are still in the Goliath's territory.
It's no hunting. Rations it is.
Please remove 1 ration from your character sheet. D&D Beyond, whatever.
D&D Beyond.
It would be really cool if every single time I tried to remove a ration, it didn't remove every single one of them.
You click
hit
the minus
remove.
button.
Yeah, hit minus, not remove.
There's no minus button on mine.
Oh, you need to go to the actual view on character or view character sheet.
So, this day's journey goes by uneventfully. The night, if you don't want to roll for watches, you do not have to, because again, you are in the Goliath's territory.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm
But if you want to try to catch anything extra, you're more than welcome to roll that perception check to see if there's anything that is going on outside of that.
Hey, not as bad. 16.
16?
the cat watch.
Have the cat watch.
Wow. Actually rolled fairly well, too.
Meow.
Now, I'm not saying you're not doing watches, I'm just saying that, your rolls are basically...
Do we catch anything?
Yeah, there's not going to be anything that's going to sneak up on you or anything like that.
Do we just cheer playtime in Crystal's tent?
That could be a possibility. There might be other things that you might hear. You don't know if Crystal always has playtime or not.
Distant rumblings.
That's the unanimous growl of every Goliath stomach.
Night 2 goes by uneventfully. Starting your...
Yeah, at 15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, nothing of interest really. Starting your 3rd day of journey. It goes by pretty uneventful for the first half of it. Around noon, you find a couple of, like, the Goliaths step out of the tree line. And it is like you can see that basically they have made a line in these trees. And they basically all make a motion towards you. And then they, like, slink back into it. This is your
Take
knowledge.
care. You're not in our territory anymore.
Yep.
Ah, gotcha.
No, you're supposed to expand your territory. Also known as just keep following us. I'd like to keep a watch out on the rest of the day's journey.
Give me a perception check.
Hey, it's getting better. 22.
22. Well, that one's not at a disadvantage, so
Yes.
that makes it a little easier. The day goes by uneventfully. Completely. That night, we need watches.
Nowhere near as good. 7.
7.
6.
Okay.
Load. Well, I rolled a 6. I think it's like 4 to my perception.
Okay.
It's 3 or 4, so not much. 9 or 10, we'll say.
Okay. The night goes by eventfully. Well, the next morning, you start your journeys. Remove another ration. Halfway through the day, you start hearing rumbling. And it's not like a standard, like, oh, the ground's shaking, so it might be an earthquake. There's no clouds in the sky, so it's not thunder. But there is a distinct, like, over and over again, there is a pause between them, but there's rumbles. And, like...
Does it sound familiar, like the ogre camp?
Do what?
Does it sound familiar like the ogre camp?
No, this doesn't sound like the ogre camp.
Okay.
And it is one of those, like, with the ogre camp movement, like, when they would move, like, it was a steady rumble of, like, foot marching. This is like a pause for a few seconds, almost like an explosion going off. A pause for a few seconds, another explosion going off.
Blast mining.
Or something big hammering. But probably last one.
But every time that you hear what sounds like an explosion, it doesn't always sound the same. So sometimes it's like a loud, like, high pitch. The next time it might have a low rumble to it. Sometimes there's, like, midtones. Sometimes it's like a high screech. And whenever it does happen, birds, all sorts of animals are just moving.
But we know there's wildlife out here now.
Yeah.
Do we continue, or do we find out what's making those rumbles?
We can always find out what's rumbling. It's probably in the direction we're going anyways.
Yeah, I mean, does it sound like as we're progressing, it's getting louder the more we're moving?
No.
towards?
The sounds keep changing direction, and so, like, one point it sounds like it's sort of from in front of you, the next point it's to your right, then it's to your left.
It's probably a storm coming.
Is there an area where I can climb up?
Clear, sunny day.
Is there an area where I can try and climb up to get a better vantage point?
You can try to climb in a tree. Give me an athletics check.
Please don't fuck me, dice. 18.
18. You're able to climb to the top of the tree.
Yay!
Give me a perception check now.
20.
Okay. From the vantage point on top of the tree, and it is one of those, like, it doesn't always happen, like, every couple of seconds. It happens, and then, like, there is a delay. And then it happens again. And then there might be, like, it might be a long delay before another one happens. And sometimes it is. It's, like, within milliseconds of each other. When you get up there, when one of them happens, out of the corner of your eye, you see a red flash. And then shortly afterwards, you hear one of the high-pitched ones, and you see a blue flash. Sort of in the same direction. There's a few seconds that goes by, and then further to your right, you see another flash of red.
Would I know anything about these flashes of colors from being part of the Cressian military?
Give me a... Give me a survival check.
Hey! 21.
21. You have seen something similar beforehand. The last time you saw it in the military, it was more up close and personal, as, like, fireballs were going off in front of you.
So it could be like lightning bolts. Other stuff.
And climbing down.
What do you see?
Red explosions. Fuck. Same voice again. What the hell?
So let's say
Red explosions. Sig from the sky. Red explosions. Blue explosions. And the last time I saw something like this, it was normally a fireball up close. Maybe some of your lot.
guess so.
Ones that I could see were over there and over there.
Do we want to try and sneak past?
That's up to you.
I mean, I don't want to get in a firefight.
I'm hired to come with you people
Right.
to help keep you safe.
But you can't find us. Seeing, especially as you,
We're also trying to find...
If our direction is that way, I believe the gods will keep us safe.
I forgot he was here.
No, I was waiting for him to chime in.
We were so close to having a quiet day. So close. Who knows? Maybe it's old classmates of yours. Also, whereabouts are we in conjunction to your map? But
Where
really,
are
X
we
marks
in-
the spot.
In conjunction to the map. Sure.
You're not 100% sure. You can give me a survival check and
Sure.
see if you can figure it out.
Can I assist?
He does have work with cartography.
Cartography tools.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Sure.
Words are hard.
Wow, they're both 14s. So a total of 16.
16.
Because what if they're fighting over what you're looking for?
What are we looking for again?
The Dwarven ruins.
Oh,
To
wait.
see where these beetles are coming from.
Right. See.
And where your
Mhm.
old shit adventure uncle buried stuff.
Potentially.
That's where that X is. It's where your little treasure.
Well, I haven't really
From your
determined
uncle.
where that map came from.
Oh, I thought that was given or left to you by your uncle.
No, I found it.
Sorry. Sieg would have known that. Damien just knows that you have a map. It's an info dump.
So for you guys, you're somewhere around in that, like where that arrow is.
Mm-hmm.
It's somewhere like over in here.
Yeah, so we're not.
I don't want to get shot by fireballs. But if you want to go get shot by fireballs, be my guest.
I would say we either.
I'm following you, boss.
I would either say we sneak through, or post up here and wait for them.
If it's
to stop.
war that they're doing, sneaking around and someone catching us will just make them think we're trying
You're not wrong.
to attack them.
Well, we can put a swift end to it.
Well, if it's happening all over the place and they're doing fireballs, they're more powerful than I am.
I only saw it in 2 places. Kind of split equidistance from us.
Were they firing at each other?
Fuck if I know. I just saw flashes of light.
Could he see like an arc of something going across that distance, or is it just right there and just over there?
All he could see was when it, like the
flashes.
yeah.
Okay.
And it was one of those, like, for him, it was one of those perception things of, like, you could see the flash of red, and then a couple of seconds later, you'd hear the, like, explosion of some sort.
Right, so that's a good distance away. There's that much delay between sound and light. Light and sound.
Science.
Yes.
I'd say we just don't go anywhere near it. That's just my opinion. I don't want to
rather
get
not
involved
get
in another war.
Yeah, because we don't know who this.
Very
For all we
well.
know, these are renegades the Evan Gauntlets got on a high list, wanted list.
Mm-hmm.
I could regain my honor.
Be a bounty hunter.
Again, if they're if
No,
they're
I get a
hucking
Zuko
fireballs-
character arc.
If they're hucking fireballs, they're more powerful than I am.
I don't know if
As
they're
a caster.
fireballs. It's just that's what I have to go off of.
Right.
But if they are fireballs,
Then we throw your metal panda in it.
no, we don't touch my metal panda. I worked very hard
I
on this.
really just want to start throwing rocks at it every chance I get.
Ting.
And I'll throw them back at you.
I didn't touch it. That's the inner child in me. Alright, so we just continue.
Yeah, I vote going.
And if we come across them, we come across them because they moved.
Yeah. I mean, as he said, and we seem to have witnessed it, the gods are definitely helping us. At
And-
least not letting us die.
Another thing to put in this. What if those are orc casters? And
I don't
that's where
want to
the
get
Goliath
involved with the
children are.
orcs ever again.
And what if that's where the Goliath children are?
If we see children, then
Kind of hard to
That's-
see them if we're avoiding them. Devil on everyone's shoulder.
thought that was
That's just me. I'm just giving options. It seems like the voted decision is that we avoid this. So we split and continue. Or split the difference and
just-
continue.
I'd just rather survive.
On the trail again.
So we keep going forward.
Yep. That's 10 dead children on your hands.
The rest of the day goes by sort of eventful. The explosions are still going off.
Are they getting louder?
They do get a little bit closer, but it doesn't seem like you're getting that much closer to them. When you set up camp, Crystal sets up his tent. He has dinner. And while he's having dinner, all of a sudden, like in the middle of it, he stops and pulls out a rock, and he, "Can I help you?" And you hear a woman's voice go, "Where are you?" "I'm with the adventurers you sent me with. Your payment is due. I will find a way to send that to you." And he puts the rock away, and "I will need payment for continuing this journey."
How much is it?
Let's say how much.
He kept us alive a little longer.
Yeah. I need exact amounts. I need numbers, sir.
"How long would you like me to stay with you?"
Do you have any idea how many more days we have left until we get to that stupid dwarven?
Say
I'd like to point out, you don't even know where it is.
So,
You're hoping that this trail leads there.
Off of the map.
I mean, how big are the hexes?
7 days across each?
Yeah.
So
And we're
judging off that, I would say we're about 4 or 5 days.
Possible.
How about
It's
another
4 or 5
10
days
days?
from your ex.
So
Do what?
It's 4 or 5 days away from your ex.
Right.
We have no fucking idea if these dwarven roots are underground,
how about
buried,
Yeah.
or if they're coming from the top of the mountain where this river comes from.
we pay him for another 10 day?
How much for a 10-day?
That will cost you 1 platinum or 10 gold.
I will give him 10 gold.
Speaking of which, your time for me is running short too.
How long is yours?
We'll see.
You give him 10 gold.
Yeah.
He takes the 10 gold and, like, sets it down in front of him. And he pulls out a book and starts to, like, trace something on the ground around it. And then he pulls the stone back out and "Your money is waiting for you!" And, like, you wait for a few seconds and all of a sudden, everything that he drew lights up. And the gold is gone. And as soon as the gold is gone, the drawing disappears with it. And "That is a shame. I will never see that again."
What was
There's a little tax write-off receipt right there.
that you just did?
"I was informed to send my mistress money.
No, I meant, like, how did you send it to her?
She informed me to draw this." And he holds up a piece of paper, and it has, like, the sigil on it.
As a conjuration wizard, would I recognize something like that?
Give me an Arcana check.
You?
I'm curious. Is your mistress hiring?
14.
You've seen something similar, but normally, you don't know how this works, because normally it requires the person casting the spell to draw it.
Right.
So, you're not sure if it's a teleportation circle or not. But that would be the closest thing that you would come to it.
You just fucking Edward Elric'd it. Full Metal Alchemist.
"My mistress will be happy for another 10 day. I will need more payment afterwards."
Just so you know, based on time periods of us getting here, you're looking at about another 30 gold. That's for him.
What about you?
We'll see what we get out of this ruin if we get there.
Forget that.
If not,
The gods
I do work
will
with
help
them.
us get there. That is my job. To keep you alive a little longer.
To keep us alive a little longer, not to ensure that we get there.
You might get there. Not in one piece.
Maybe an arm missing or a leg missing.
Then you can just duct tape it to Pandy.
No, I was thinking about then I could have a robot arm.
There it is.
Oh my god, if she takes dips into wizard to go necromancy and creates... Ugh. Just...
So as you finish having, like, you're starting your dinner, all of a sudden, from out in the woods is a loud whistle.
What direction is it coming
Attention.
from?
Sort of from the north.
I will stand up defensively with my bow.
Okay.
Ready.
Your what?
My bow.
Oh, bow. I heard bell and I was very confused.
Yes.
Dinner time! Tingling, tingling, tingling. Damien will stand up with his great sword at the ready and a torch in the hand held high. Who's there?
Who goes there? Must have been the wind.
Stop in the name of the law.
I will
Must have been the
hold
wind.
a... Dancing Lights has 120 feet. If we hear something approaching, I will throw 4 lights in that direction.
Okay. You do start to hear something approaching. As you start to cast, you feel your spell fizzle.
Oh, fun.
Oh no.
Casters.
Oh no.
And you hear, if you're all registered, I mean you no harm.
Oh no.
Oh, I am.
Yeah, you're registered, so you're safe.
Mm-hmm.
Can we see this figure yet?
Coming out of the woods, it's hard to make him out as he's wearing all black.
Evan Gauntlet.
He has a silver fist on his belt buckle. And
Yep.
approaching with him is another. There's actually 2.
Awesome.
And the second one, like, makes a motion and steps forward, and they drop their hood, and it's a female. And she looks all of you over, and she... So, casters, all of you.
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
And stab the great sword in the ground so it's not going anywhere for a second. Pull up the sleeve where the registration marks would be for them to check everything.
And as soon as you pull up the sleeve, she, like, reaches into a pouch and pulls out goggles and puts them on. And she looks over everybody, and the only one that hesitates is Crystal. And my gods do not like for me to show my skin.
Get the fuck over it.
And she
As I'm standing at attention.
she smiles when he says it, and one of you zealots. Fine. We have other ways to check you. And, like, she takes the spectacles off and puts them in her pocket, and then pulls out another pair, and she puts those on, and she looks at him for a second, and she's, you're human. You're fine.
Well, narrows that down for us.
We're looking for an elf. Have you happened to see him?
No.
Was that part of the firefight we heard earlier in the day?
Yes.
Didn't see anybody. We just heard the sounds.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been nobody here so far. Outside of us.
He is unregistered and very hostile.
Is he wreaking havoc on everybody?
He is very dangerous.
Awesome.
Seeing as none of you have the spell capabilities that you need to get a hold of us. She motions to the guy, and he hands her 3 sticks, and she tosses them down on the ground in front of you. Point it in the sky and activate it. We'll be here shortly if you see him.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Those up.
You said there was another encampment soon, close by? Yes, ma'am. Let's go. He puts his hand out. She takes it. He snaps his fingers, and they, a portal appears, and they walk through it.
Nice. That is power.
That was.
I want their armor. I just want full plate, man.
You're not necessarily wearing full plate.
I don't like this 16 AC, yo. Fuck off, wizard boy. You're supposed to be a glass cannon.
Stairs in 13.
I'm not even going to talk about what crystals is.
I was gonna say, he got hit really easy, didn't he?
11. Because his base should be 10, and I'm guessing he doesn't have a flat dex.
Or he might.
He might.
It'd be really bad if he... He's probably just as fragile as you are.
Fragile.
I don't know how to spell Ebon Gauntlet, so I just winged it.
E-B-O-N. Is Eben.
Okay, E-B-O-N.
G-A-U?
I put G-U-A.
N-T-L-E-T.
Okay.
Gauntlet.
Are you doing anything else for your night?
No.
Should I try and identify these sticks?
Yes, blow us all up.
Step away.
Go ahead.
Step away 30 feet from the camp. And ritually do identify on just one of the sticks.
I have identified too.
So give me that D20 roll.
Blow us up. Blow us up.
It's 18.
Okay, you're safe. These are what are called. They are a type of what's called a sunstick. There are 2 types of sunsticks. One of them, when you use it, it just makes a very bright light at the end of the stick. It does have charges. Whenever the charges are out, the stick is null and void. The other type of sunstick, which is probably what they handed you, because the first one is more like a flashlight than anything
Right.
else, is more like a flare,
Flare gun or something.
where it shoots it's what starts off a small bead of yellow light into the direction that you point it, and roughly 120 feet away, it explodes into what is
Daylight. Oof. Oh. You know how handy that would be in Strahd?
Wow! Look at that! A second sun has appeared in the sky.
Yeah.
It is a sign of the gods. Crystal, that was just me.
So because of things that happen. This is sunsticks are a thing from second edition,
Mm.
and they got rid of them in third edition because nobody ever.
There was
They were
always a
so
caster.
OP because nobody needed dark vision at that point because a single stick can last 20 or 30 days,
Oh wow.
and they're only like in second edition they were only like 10 gold to buy one.
Jeez.
So we have 3 of them, which means we can use it 3 times, right?
They have charges.
Can I
How many charges do these have?
Okay.
So each one only has 1 charge
Okay.
to shoot at 120 feet.
One for each of us per watch.
How? I mean, I'm guessing there's just like a sense to activate it, or
There's a word.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's all the same on all of them.
right. So hand it to these two and tell them the word.
Yay, we have a dangerous elf on the loose. It's unregistered.
I'm having to think about how my personality traits fit now. Because technically I'm not in the military anymore.
Nope.
Are you a lost little lamb?
100% yes. 100% yes. So, the only hierarchy I have at the moment is him. But they would have been considered my vast superiors at one point.
Yeah.
Are you spiteful towards any superior?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Are you sure
Not
about
at
that?
fucking all.
So basically, you want to be like one of them in some way.
At some point, I want to own them.
He wants to be the mega boss.
Yes, but I have to obey the hierarchy.
He wants to be the lawful.
Yeah, but
lawful evil BBG.
what?
EG. Sorry.
Big bad evil guy.
Oh.
You're not wrong.
All of it, huh? Fire knowledge. We're
Sir.
good.
Anyways, what are we doing?
Finishing out the rest then.
Mhm.
I'm going to request one of those sun sticks.
Yeah, I handed to each of
Okay.
you, showed you with the, or gave you the word for it. Don't point that at your face. It will hurt.
Oh, that'd be so fun though.
Karma
Just
crystal.
kidding.
He
I'm
was
just
literally-
kidding.
He would literally be blind.
Karma crystal for the yelling and light first thing the fucking morning while we're still asleep.
Just point at the tent.
Showed up Pandy's butt and he becomes a god metal raccoon. Oh my god, Pandy is a Gretzko.
Or attach all three to him, and he just. If you get the flashlight
So,
ones, you just attach to his
perception
head.
rolls?
and-
Yes.
You suck.
11.
11.
8.
19 or 16. 17.
Oh, look at
17.
Yeah.
Third watch.
What did I say? 8.
8. Okay.
You suck.
Your night goes by uneventfully.
Cool.
The next day,
There's an elf in our face.
Hi there. How are you?
you start your day of traveling.
Are there still explosions going on?
No.
Good. Then I can hunt today. Later on.
Okay.
But first, we're on day 7, correct?
I mean, this is day 4
Day 4. Fuck.
of this session.
Yeah.
Day 4.
Fucking fly right out of my
Day
ear.
25.
It's out there.
Okay.
25 days of this.
I haven't been able to keep up with days for shit.
Range tag memories.
I'm just gonna go ahead and...
I still can't.
Alrighty. Perception for the day.
Yep.
23, because natural 20s don't matter.
Uh,
The one I'll ever fucking see.
the day goes by uneventful. And it is also very awkward because you see no wildlife
Great.
as you are traveling. Are you going to go branch off and go hunting while you're
Yes.
still traveling? So we are hunting.
Closer towards the end of the day, I'm gonna try and go hunt.
Okay.
Because there was wildlife fleeing from the areas, and now
Yep.
that there's nothing going on, they may have started to resettle.
Yep.
Survival?
Yep.
I believe that's a 19.
19. Give me a perception check as well.
Yes, that was a 19. Perception was a 5.
5. Thanks.
You're there. You broke off. Are you ready to die?
As you branch off to do your hunting,
Mm-hmm.
everybody else is traveling. You see a deer, and you start to stalk it. And right before you go to shoot, a hand touches your shoulder.
The javelin is immediately turning to face right behind me.
And you hear, I mean you no harm.
Going to turn, with the point still where I heard the voice, turning and looking.
There's sitting in front of you is a gentleman with long brown hair, scraggly, unkept clothing, and he
Pointy ears.
nope.
Can't
Okay.
tell, anyways.
Not yet.
He saw. I see you travel with friends.
Yes.
You look like you do more up close combat.
I do.
Do any of your friends happen to know how to throw magic?
Why?
I have a proposition.
Are we talking to Rumpelstiltskin? Like, oh my god.
Essentially.
I'm having to check something real quick.
My proposition is quite simple. I'll give you and all of your compatriots 100 gold. All I need is 10 minutes of your time.
Fuck. I don't have second level spells yet. I can't zone of truth. Are you being chased?
Chased? What is that?
Hunted?
Never.
While I'm talking to him, I'm trying to see if there's any part of illusion on him.
You can give me another perception check.
Yeah.
Ooh.
20.
There's not an illusion on him that you can tell.
Alright. You
My
made me lose my quarry. You get 10 minutes.
Oh, you want the deer?
Don't worry about the deer.
Oh, no.
I don't trust you.
I can bring the deer back. I'll still give you the 100 gold each, and you can have the deer.
Hey, he just said eat, and that makes a difference.
That makes a big difference.
The deer can wait.
No, it's there. He, come. And when he does, you do sense like a spell being cast, and you watch as the deer and a bunch of other animals start to come out of the woods, and they just like line up in front of him, and he's, have your pick.
Like lambs to a slaughter.
Straight. Straight at the deer.
Just taking the deer.
Yep. Just the deer. There's no reason to kill everything else.
He goes, are you sure? I mean, you can take this guy. He'd be good for a snack. Or this one. That'd be good for a snack too. For 2 people.
We're only needing food for today and tomorrow while we travel. There's no need to kill more than necessary.
Well, I'm talking about necessity.
What the fuck is this guy?
Makes a good fucking point, though.
Guys.
Dig through the stomachs is like, are these Skyrim wolves and where's the amethyst and garnet? No, this is fine.
Fine. And he reaches over and grabs the squirrel by the head and like whips his arm, and you hear a snap, and he, that's my meal.
Poor squirrel.
Mhm.
And at that you can go, and they all like in instant. It's the like you see the spell drop out of all of their eyes, and it's the oh shit, and they all scatter.
And there's just blood everywhere.
So, do we have a deal?
We'll hear your proposition.
He
We
puts
don't
his
know
hand
if there's
down.
a deal yet.
The proposition has already been told. The deal or no deal.
I don't get to make this decision on my own.
Ah, but you get to make the decision whether you take me and treat me fairly.
Is he a trickster god?
I don't know you. Trust you.
I've told
That is
you
up.
100
to
gold
everyone
for each of
each.
you if you take me, and I'd get 10 minutes of your time.
Just do it.
Very well.
You shake.
Yep.
He is the trickster
He-
god. He takes
excellent.
10 minutes of our birth.
Pretty much.
We get Shrek 4 and get Rumpelstiltskin.
You lead the way. I'll follow shortly behind. That way I don't get shot. Oh! And no using those weird sticky things.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't actually have a bow or anything, so I can't hunt like that. I have to throw a javelin.
Yeah, that's fine.
But that's why I was like, and javelin to the face. And I continue walking. Dragging the deer.
So you make it back to your camp. And it is like they're starting to set up camp.
We have a guest.
What kind of guest?
I have no fucking idea.
A guest. If they are of your friends, they're more than welcome to join us.
He offered 100 gold to each of us for 10 minutes of our time.
I was waiting for that.
Please, take your guess.
I don't know who this is. I don't know anything about them. From what I can tell, they are not this elf that the gauntlet is hunting. But this person does know magic.
How do you know? Oh, how do you know?
This came to me.
You didn't kill it yourself?
Oh, I killed it myself. That's my javelin hole. But it stood there and waited.
That's kind of creepy just to say.
Get just a little.
Yeah, but it's a meal. As I set it next to where the fire is starting, get the fire started and start cleaning it too.
So after after you've had this conversation and you wait a couple of minutes, because, like, you've not seen the guests show up yet. Walking out of the woods, I'm here, as promised.
This is our friend. Guest. Whatever.
Dang.
He
Trying to see if my
definitely-
familiar could use a magical device.
He gives me Rumple Stillskin vibes so bad. Just the way he talks.
And while this person is doing whatever the fuck they're doing, I'm going to have this, the sun stick next to me at all times.
So, I promised your friend 100 gold each. All I need is 10 minutes of your time and not to use those stupid little stickies.
Why?
Oh, those sticks. I thought he was talking about my javelin.
No.
Little sticky thing.
He was talking about the light sticky thing.
10 minutes of your time? And he pulls out a pouch and he, like, reaches in and starts pulling out, like, handfuls of platinum. And this is yours.
What do you want to talk about?
Just 10 minutes of your time. Specifically, anybody who can cast magical spells of the arcane nature.
That's me and you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Has Crystal specifically said yes yet?
He sort of
To
did.
the guest.
No.
I'm going to stand up, walk over next to Crystal. Well, he only wants people that can cast divine, and I hand the sun stick to Crystal.
Okay.
Because if Crystal doesn't accept, he didn't take the deal.
So, 100 gold to each of you. No using the sticky thingies. I get 10 minutes. Deal!
Sure. Whatever.
100 gold each.
100 gold each.
We're a little greedy. I'd straight up say, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Shake.
Mm.
You shake.
That's you.
I'll share.
1, 2, 3.
Crystal.
Crystal is not an arcane caster.
I can't give up 100 gold.
Fucking hate you.
He shakes as well. Excellent. Now then, of the two of you that cast arcane stuff,
I'm not okay with lying.
you. And he looks you over for a second. I don't think you're what exactly I need. He looks you over for a second. He goes, but you, sir, are a wizard, right?
Yes.
Excellent. You don't see the right arm.
Okay.
What are you gonna do with my right arm?
All I want to do is
10 minutes of your
There.
time.
for 10 minutes.
Is he gonna steal your registration?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Are you gonna do anything to it besides stare at it?
I'm going to touch you once, and only once,
That's what she said.
and then just stare at your arm for 10 minutes.
Will this unregister me?
No.
Do I believe him?
Give me an insight.
I
check.
believe it.
Terrible, not great. 14.
Hard to tell.
It can always be re-registered later.
So you stick your arm out.
Yes.
He licks his finger and taps your arm, and when he taps it, all of a sudden, all the glyphs and everything light up.
Mm.
And he, excellent. Now, and he just sits there, and he stares for 10 minutes, and the whole time he's like playing with his arm.
He's copying your registration.
And then after the 10 minutes
I would
is
like
up,
to be right behind him while this is happening with my greatsword out. just in case.
Okay. As he's copying it all day, he is copying your registration onto his own arm. That looks good enough. And he taps it, and both of his arm stops glowing, and yours does too. And thank you! And he pulls out the pouches, drops it, and hopefully we don't see each other again. Snaps his fingers, and he's gone.
Did we get the money?
Yeah,
That's what those
pouches.
pouches
Okay.
Check the money.
I grab it. And I open it. And I look inside.
Inside is 10 pieces of platinum.
10 pieces of platinum. Does each person get 2?
No, each
No.
bag has 10 pieces. Everybody gets 10.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
10 platinum.
Which is
100 gold.
100 gold, as promised.
Nice.
He did not look like an elf, so there was no reason. It was just trepidation.
Yeah.
We came
Did we
across
notice
him
if he looked like
mistaken.
an elf? at all?
That's one of the first things I checked.
I know you did.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't.
Not that you know of.
While he was doing that, the entire time he could have been casting Detect Magic.
No, I think he would have stopped me if I was trying to cast something.
Maybe. How does it feel having a registration duplicate?
Mm. So is each one like unique to each person?
Maybe you should ask the college.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what would I know that?
You've never been part of registration, and that is a secret to registration.
Hmm.
Also, a terrifying thing is that the registration takes 9th level spells to do. I don't know if copying does, but... And he just did it like it was nothing.
Yeah.
No, like... inadvertently failing a spell. Nothing.
I think if we had tried to fight him, it would not have been.
No, that was the god mask getting registered. That was the missing god.
Cool.
Are you doing anything for that night?
Trying to figure out how I can light up my.
Actually, yeah, do we know how to look at our own glyphs?
No.
Okay.
Hmm.
But he did.
He must be a big baddie.
Mhm.
Maybe.
Or just a pure troublemaker.
Finish cooking. Do my watch.
Give me your perception check.
7. Bitch dice.
Second watch.
A 1 and a 20.
A 2 and a 20. The 3.
Third watch.
13.
13. On your watch,
Of course they did.
coming through the woods, is a familiar sight of a tall, lanky, dark-haired gentleman in ragged clothing, and I have a predicament. I give you 100 gold. I'll give you an extra 50 if I can be part of your party. For a day.
Who are you?
My name is Fagardel.
What?
Fagardel.
Gardell.
Farquad.
I thought we weren't supposed to see each other again.
So too, as I started to leave, I ran into some problems.
Was it the Ebon Gauntlet?
You're asleep.
You're asleep.
I was about to ask, was it the Abigail?
Was it 2 people in black?
Ebon Gauntlet. Who are they?
2 people in dark cloaks. Very
I've more than
powerful.
two.
This
Very-
person terrifies me.
Yeah. Very powerful casters.
Oh, really? I seem to believe that That's hard to come by out here. Most people are minute little travelers, like yourself.
This dude's definitely rebel.
Out of curiosity, are you human?
Describe what a human is.
What the fuck?
Is this person an alien?
Do you?
No, it's the god coming down from the heavens.
Human looks like me.
Right, I do. I do look like you.
Can you pull your hair back
Why should I?
to finish seeing if you would do indeed?
What would that change?
It would give me more knowledge to make a better decision.
Sure. And he, like, with both hands, reaches back and, like, pulls his hair back. And the ears are normal.
Detect magic.
You're going to detect magic?
Yes.
As you go to cast that spell, it fizzles. Because I do believe that counterspell is anything third or below instantly fails.
Pretty sure because I can't
Yep.
use it yet. Huh. Okay. Are you being hunted by other people?
No, not the last I checked.
Are you gonna bring danger to my group?
No, don't think so.
Insight. That's That seems believable.
What?
It seems something I'll put up. Oh my gosh. For how long?
A day.
A day, maybe half. I can make it easy on you. I can make myself look like your kitty.
Well, I guess I can make him bamf to the. What is your end goal?
What is your quest?
My end goal is to make it close to 20 miles west of here.
And I'm guessing you're looking for freedom.
No, just 20 miles of travel.
So
Because looking for freedom, aren't we already free out in the world?
Obviously not if you're needing our assistance.
If you're needing help from us, fuck nobody.
50 gold. You don't have to tell it a soul. I just hand it to you. See, look! And he reaches into his pouch and pulls out 5 platinum.
Trying to.
How rich is this guy? Did we just find gender bent Fritz?
Do everything against my personality traits to say I wouldn't do it.
Gotta check these traits, yo. How fucked am I?
And Pixel disappears.
You didn't have to do that. I could fix that as well. But okay.
You could have eaten your cat.
Don't eat my cat.
He takes the squirrel and, like, I guess I don't need this anymore. And tosses it aside. And then he probably wants your payment up front. He pulls
Generally.
the 5 platinum out and holds it out. And he, wait. Shake.
Redeeming myself to something.
As soon as you shake, he drops the 5 platinum into your hand, and he's excellent. Deal's done. And he snaps his fingers and instantly turns into what looks like Pixel. And he crawls up under your shoulder, and he weighs a little bit more than Pixel.
Nigga, shut the fuck up! Oh wait, this is about the time that Crystal
Crystal
would be
starts
awake.
to wake up at this point.
It's like, wouldn't Crystal be awake? What?
The rest of your Crystal wakes up and goes through his ritual. Are you going to say or do anything?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. Everybody else wakes up.
It'd be fucking hilarious. Is that even if I cast my thing that lets me detect if there's celestial fiend undead around me, or no, it's Fae.
Yeah.
It doesn't register shit for me because Pixel is Fae.
Yeah.
I have a feeling this guy's Fae as fuck. Your next level requirement's Warlock, by the way.
Oh, that would be interesting.
It's like,
So, everybody is up. You start your journey.
Yep.
Your 5th day on the road. You do not have to eat rations today, as you have deer.
On the road again.
Uh,
Can't wait to be on the road.
I am no god. Eat my food in remembrance of him.
No. I refuse.
Fine, you can eat the grass. Thanks to dirt.
So, are we doing anything special for the day?
Aside from keeping watch and then camp.
I'm also going to be keeping watch.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Ooh,
Fuck you!
you guys both sucked at rolling.
Mine's a 17.
Oh,
7,
I thought that was a 3 for some reason.
17.
17 total. The day goes by uneventfully. A little less than, like, about the time that Damien splits off to go hunting. Pixel
Would
also.
I have to go hunting?
You don't have to, but it's up to
Because we should have still more than enough deer to continue on.
for one night.
Even if it's getting gamey, it's...
for
About
us
the
to-
time you would have normal.
But yeah,
Okay.
at about the time that Damien normally goes off hunting, Pixel jumps off your shoulder and, like, scampers into the woods.
Let your cat just run away.
Probably looking for a mouse or something.
Mm-hmm.
He's never done that before.
Well, generally he likes to bamf around, but we're kind of on our toes at the moment.
I have no reason to believe that my boss is lying to me. He's been completely forthright the entire time with me. I hate this. Because I have questions for him if he's with us.
Nighttime falls. Crystal does his it's time to set up camp.
And about that time, Pixel will appear in the woods and come.
You sneaky bastard. Oh, by the way, I've decided that my price for continuing on until we get back to the city is 50 gold. Oh, no. We'll see if we make it to these ruins.
It's time to set up camp.
I'm glad I
Yeah.
don't have to do that anymore. Everybody can just hear it in their own head.
For what?
It is time to set up camp.
Thank you, I just needed that refresher. It's been a while. Since I could. Sorry.
We're gonna take a quick break here. And return at the start of camp in just a minute. Stick around. And we'll continue this storyline in just a few minutes. See you guys in just a few. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Shinigami Tabris.
Damn
Thank you for
elves.
sticking around for what time we were gone. We needed a quick little break, get some water, and so forth. Without further ado,
I had to scream in terror from sitting next to an android wearing skin.
I mean, he didn't peel it off yet. So.
Not yet.
Takes too long to put it back on.
That's why you have a zipper.
Doesn't look the same.
Oh.
Gets wrinkled.
Mm-hmm.
So, your day, you're starting your night of your 5th day of journey.
14.
Ooh. I'm blind as fuck tonight. I got a 2.
13, that's 15. Nice. So 17.
17. Your night goes by uneventfully.
Sorry.
Swear to God, he comes up again.
So here's the deal. 50 more gold?
Night's uneventful.
Cool.
You wake up the next morning and start your 6th day of journey.
What do you see?
Perception. 18?
18.
Mm-hmm. It's just keeping out for the day.
Day goes by uneventfully.
How much longer? I'm getting tired of walking.
As she starts whining, I'm breaking off. To go hunting.
It's only 10 in the morning.
I'm so bored.
This is getting
Sounds like
towards the
my
end of the day, right? Getting towards the end of the day.
Yeah.
14.
You're able to find a couple of creatures to hunt.
Yes, this is dinner.
But
But it will not tide over for the next
Yeah,
day.
no deers, just
Din-din.
smaller creatures like rabbits, pheasant.
Am I able to forage it all while I'm doing this?
No, that's a different roll.
Okay.
Still the same type of roll, but a different roll to forage.
We've had a lot of meat. Very little veggies. We need a balanced diet. We're
Well-
damned rat catchers.
On your days that you're not hunting, you should be
Yes,
foraging.
we should be. But I'm stupid. We know
There you
this.
go.
I'll start foraging.
If only we had a druid who could cast Goodberry instead of a wizard.
I played Druid last time.
Who casts Field?
Played Druid last time. Also ate raw meat.
That's fair.
Nighttime.
4.
Six.
12.
Slightly
We
got
suck,
better.
dude.
Just a little.
As daytime comes rolling around, about the time that Crystal starts to come out of his tent, you finally notice that there is a Goliath that is sitting at the corner of your campsite. Just sitting there.
Speak?
Right?
Death is horrible.
Speak, spirits.
Death is horrible. It's terrifying.
What is the quote from Shakespeare?
What's Shakespeare?
Hamlet.
It's been a fucking minute.
But you have no idea how long they've been sitting there, but it is one of those, like, you missed them throughout, like, while it was still dark, and as the day starts to progress, they are just sitting there just staring
At us?
at the camp.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
You're
We're
asleep.
asleep.
I
you're
thought we
asleep.
were all awake by
No.
now.
This is right when Crystal's waking up.
Okay.
Crystal.
Can I help you?
Maybe. What are you doing?
Traveling.
What?
trying to find a ruin.
There's a few. Some newer than others.
Old one.
Still a few.
Are we heading in the right direction?
Depends on which ones you're looking for.
Dwarven?
Is there differences?
No idea. Haven't been to one yet.
Neither do
I'm just watching the back and forth.
Yeah. So what are you doing?
Keeping an eye out. You're curious ones.
Yeah. Definitely.
Not some.
Especially if you wait about 5 minutes, you're about to see less subtle.
It's not even 5 minutes. Like, that's about the time that, like, he comes out of the tent.
Right.
And, no, the first thing that he always does is tear his tent down. Like,
Yeah.
he tears his tent down because he does his meditation in his tent and everything else.
Right.
So it is like he's just ready to, like, eat and go after he's done tearing down.
Do Goliath count as humanoid?
Yes.
Cool.
He, So, I ask again, what are you doing?
What is your quest?
I'll tell you again that we're looking for a Dwarven ruin.
Dwarven Road. What for?
I'll summon or conjure the shape. Trying to find some of these.
There are many beetles around.
These are mechanical. Kind of looks like that mammal panda over there. But beetle-sized.
So big thing that moves on own, except shaped as beetle.
No, the size. But it looks like that metal-wise.
Do you happen to have little girl with you?
Oh,
She likes to play with things similar to this.
oh shit.
Dad?
Do you know the little girl's name?
She always came with Ilbert.
And yes. Yes, I do know that person.
Interesting. He is late for his shipments. By a month or two.
I hate to be the one to tell you this, but he has passed.
We will drink in his honor tonight. That is a shame.
He was a good friend.
He was a decent smith.
Never gonna roast you.
I already roasted my own character, so I called him weak and stupid for saving Charlie.
Charlie tried to save him.
I don't suppose you know of another Goliath named Firebrand.
He survived.
Now, apparently he started his own little group.
He's an asshole.
He seemed to give off that vibe, yes. Said something about bringing the elders to his territory.
We will fight over that one. I don't have all the elders, just a few. But they wouldn't want to go with him anyways.
Don't suppose you know anything about the children.
But children.
Your children.
Our children are safe in the caves.
He says a bunch of orcs stole their children.
We would have to ask one of the elders that. But last I checked, all of our children were safe.
If I may ask, what is your name?
You may ask. It does not mean I will give.
Well, I'll give you mine. I am Nicola.
Mm. But you have the little girl with you.
Charlie? Yes.
Ildrid's wee human.
Yes. She should be waking here in a little bit.
She's loud.
Yes, it is. You do know her.
Fuck roast and Sieg, you're getting roasted.
I'm fine with it.
So,
Pop, pop.
you're looking for ruins. You've met Firebrand. Which means he has told you probably of the fate of East Hollow.
Said it was destroyed.
Yes. We would like to rebuild. But some did not like the settlement to begin with, saying that we should have stayed roving barbarians instead.
I think civilization looks good on you. Sieg, definitely.
Civilization is filthy.
Yes, it is.
I get where Firebrand and the others like to continue to move. It makes you harder to kill, too, if you don't know where to find you.
That's true.
But I do not like leaving my mother behind.
Aww.
That's super sweet.
And she has gotten old and cannot move. But has a wealth of knowledge.
Sounds like a wonderful woman.
She can be a nag.
I mean, that's mothers for you. I have two of them.
I pity you. That's the worst.
Oh god, that means you have even more mother-in-law issues.
Hmm.
So, Nicola, and you said the wee one is
Charlie.
Charlie.
The loud one over there is, or the one throwing lights and all that is Crystal.
I'm Crystal. Right. Are you friend or foe? Neither. Crystal stops throwing for a second and it's that weird debate of what is he going to do, and starts throwing again.
Right! Right! Right!
And the other one is Damien.
You have a is there not a fifth with you? At this, Crystal stops and turns and looks.
No?
I thought I saw one of yours travel off a day ago.
There was a gentleman who was propositioning us for a little bit, but then he needed to go elsewhere. I have no idea.
Propositioning us.
Position.
Give us one.
Ilbrid definitely mentioned the hookers in town. I did not
Get
anticipate
propositioned,
you all
bitch.
to look like this. I did not know that the wee one would be one either.
No, misunderstood. Made a deal to talk with us for about 10 minutes. The wee one is not definitely of that sort.
It only takes you 10 minutes.
He's still.
I mean, the first round, sure.
That's sad.
I mean, I guess 10 minutes with all four of you. And at this, like, Crystal really, like, he has stopped and is just
You're
like,
one to talk, sir.
it's just sort of like in that, like, what the fuck moment of like, what am I listening to? And he's,
Hey, you serve all gods. You get to serve Nora in more than one way, baby.
and I could see finishing a man in 10 minutes with all four. That might be easier.
No, not what happened. Literally talking.
Talking.
Ilbert said that that's done a lot too.
Don't know how to answer that anymore.
Use a hoe.
Apparently, well, yeah, obviously all four of us are.
Apparently, who he's talking about knew a lot about hookers.
I was the only Goliath in the city. How else am I going to get any lovin's? Pay to play, baby. I no bard.
So you're looking for Dwarven root. Aren't all dwarves really tiny, even for you?
The stories? I believe so.
So how you fit in Dwarven ruin?
I would have heard stories of their stuff being usually pretty grandiose, rather.
Give me a history check.
Cool.
Yeah, Sig was the one doing that reading.
Yeah. That is a 19.
Yeah, you've heard that they don't build small fortresses. It is
They are
Like-
not halflings, from what I understand. They tend to build big because they can't. Could.
oh,
Even
maybe I
during
have seen Dwarven ruins and not known it. Oh well. I've seen halls for giants. That could be Dwarven ruin, right?
they would be big enough to where you'd be comfortable.
Hmm. Maybe our elders know more.
If we could talk to them, that would be nice.
I could take you to them. If I could trust you all. Not to proposition everyone.
Not doing that.
Would you rather be a proposition or a prostitution?
Prostiposition?
Better than a preposition.
Fuck them.
I bring someone here. We take your weapons. We take you to elders.
Would we get our weapons back?
Yeah, are we gonna get our weapons back?
When you leave elders and can't harm them, yes.
Seems fair.
To make my journey quicker and yours too, I meet you half day. And he like stands up and looks around for a second, and then he like, to make easy, since I it common, as Ilbrid taught us, well, but not great. And I lose some words. We go hit this way, and he like draws an arrow in the dirt with a large sword,
Like as big as his or bigger?
bigger.
To scale.
Yeah.
And you go half day that way. Me and friend will meet you, if it's all right with elders. Otherwise, I will meet you and tell you to, how did he say it? Shove off.
Seems fair.
Just imagine his sword being the size of Harry Potter in that wizard chess game that they played in the Chamber of
Yes,
Secrets.
Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry.
And he fully, finally, he fully stands up. And he's like a good 7.5 feet tall.
Bigger than Sieg or smaller than Sieg?
A little bit bigger.
And he, I will see you in half day. And, he just takes the sword and, props it up on his shoulder and starts to lumber off. And Crystal finally, stopped. And, he has not thrown a stone in a while. And I didn't realize that Lenore was all of our gods.
There you go.
Lord Ump!
Where is that?
No, it's mine.
Oh,
But...
there's
Lenore? Do we not remember Lenore?
Oh, I thought you said Lenore.
Yeah, I heard Lenore too.
Lenore.
Lenore.
Hey man, she's the lady of love, and she love everybody.
And may not have called her by the same name, but
I watched us. I do not remember handling gentlemen.
his common wasn't great. So I think he misunderstood me.
Understood.
Okay, the four of us can take on a man in 10 minutes.
10 rounds, man. 10 rounds.
That's just 60 seconds, baby. Talk about a spit
60.
shine.
Second.
He. So he was friend, right?
As he said, probably neither. I think he knew Charlie and her father figure. The one that passed.
Understand. Shall we wake the others and start our journey?
Depends on if it's there, if it's that time.
It can be, if need be.
I will wait till they're full rest and then wake them. Because I know he tends to get up earlier.
So you're gonna wait?
Yep.
Okay. So he's just gonna sit there and like after a couple of minutes, because he's quit throwing the stones because he's just completely baffled by what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, my stone throwing did not help me, basically. So he pulls out the book and he pulls out one stone and he's reading until like it gets enough daylight that he doesn't have to use the stone, and then he puts the stone away.
So yeah, whenever they do wake,
So after a couple of, it's about another hour.
Yeah.
Everybody gets up.
Good morning.
morning. So we have a direction to go.
What kind of direction?
Do you see that giant arrow there?
Yeah.
That way.
Why?
Fella who seems to know you and knew Sieg was waiting for a shipment. Of Sieg.
Oh.
Showed up in camp, and he's wanting to take us to see elders,
Oh.
which may hopefully give us some information of what we're trying to find.
Did you happen to mention the children and the guy and...
Yeah, no, apparently they have some elders, and they would fight over that because apparently the guy was an ass, which
Well, obviously.
we noticed that. But also apparently they have children, and have no idea what we're talking about when it comes to the orcs taking children. Which makes me think that there's some conflicting stories there.
Sounds like it.
However,
Venora is all of our gods.
What? Why did he say that?
because
He has informed the giant man that we all handled another gentleman.
While breaking down.
he asked about Fog Ardell, and I said we got money to talk to him for 10 minutes, and he misunderstood.
Did you see? You didn't use those words, did you?
He propositioned us.
That's why. Okay.
Walking. Just
But
tack on 10 more gold for defamation of character.
your character's already defend. Defend.
Well, didn't need the extra.
With,
Kicked out of the military for other reasons.
but we're supposed to travel half a day in that direction.
Is he promised that the elders would talk to us, or
He's going to ask, and he will meet us either way to either escort us
Mm-hmm.
or tell us to show off.
Okay.
Which to me is win-win either way, because then we don't have to fight them because he is huge.
Any other stipulations we should know about?
I was working on that. Yes. They will take our weapons temporarily while we go talk to the elders.
And you agreed to this.
Yes, it seemed reasonable.
You're the boss.
Well, if we're going to the Goliaths, I know them, and they're not all of them are.
Well, you didn't
That's
seem to know the last one or your father figure's name.
I've had a very long
This is
month.
actually Damien calling you out.
I've had a very long month, sir.
How many years did you know your past friend? Walk, 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 walk.
Throw a rock at his butt.
I understand the anger. Let that hatred flow through you. Time to keep a lookout.
I'll also keep a lookout.
Okay. I'm sure that they're not followers of Varys.
I'm not sure of anything anymore, to be totally honest. 23.
19.
Isn't Ferris the...
Ferris the Sly?
Yeah,
Okay.
He's the trickery dude.
one of them.
Subtlety.
It's very likely that the gentleman that was here was a follower of him.
What if it
The
was?
gentleman that you supposedly handled.
They gave you 100 gold.
Apparently
yes.
we handled.
Oh, trust me, I heard it. I was not a part of this handling.
Well, I mean, you did let him ride you.
You don't know that.
I know, but this is fucking hilarious now. Talking about getting a proposition.
As Merrick would enjoy the little rubbing I am giving you all.
Phrasing, my friend, phrasing.
Oh my god! That's what I say out loud.
Barth help us.
What's wrong with these two? And you! Pandy, let's go.
I made it evidently know that this character is an ass.
Patty grumbles along with me.
What is wrong with us? We're all but part of Tybalt's fall.
Tibbles?
Tybalt.
Oh.
Scoundrels.
Okay.
We're all but scoundrels. That's what he just said.
I mean, he's not wrong. I did steal stuff from somebody walking down the road once.
Oh, then you're all.
Okay.
Well, they didn't need it.
Today, at close to the half day point, Crystal stops and I must make a prayer. I have realized we are in a new month.
Yes. We're in Emerald.
We have left Norfolk
Oh
and
shit,
gone
that's
to
right.
Merrick,
For some reason,
which makes sense of why the god of trickery has been with us.
What?
that does make sense.
What?
Also explains the clear weather.
I'm so confused.
Northrel is the god of storms. Merrick is the god of trickery. We are now in the month of trickery.
So Halloween?
No, this is more the start of summer.
Oh. Be funny if it was Halloween, though.
I mean, to an extent, there are things similar to Halloween during this, but they're not.
Be a harvest thing.
Yeah, Halloween is a harvest thing, whereas these are like. Yeah, this is the definitely like it's more of the trick or treat part and not the harvest part or
Gotcha.
or the Day of the Dead part. None of that. It's the straight up like, well, let's fuck with each other, which is part of like.
Apparently, Nicholas just fucking each other.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the reason also that Crystal has made some jokes all of a sudden when he's been very straightforward.
Oh god. This is terrifying. He has a sense of humor. Oh god. Is he gonna become goth in the month of death?
That'd be hilarious.
You got a while before you see that.
Oh yeah. Once we get the Great Demise month, it's gonna be fucking terrifying.
Do what?
Once we get to Cryfella's month,
Oh yeah.
if we keep him around.
So he does like basically you have to take 10 minutes, and he does a like prayer. And it is a prayer to Merrick. He does it in common, and it is basically the prayer is to help us and keep us from scoundrels, but to also allow us to be part of their system, so as to not fall prey to them, but also to not give up a chance where we need it.
And thanks for the laughs, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking Merrick is Loki.
Cool. Is he as attractive as Loki is?
Nobody has ever seen Merrick.
But if he looks like
Tom Hiddleston.
yes, then I'd be very happy.
Yeah, so now we know what the 12-year-old likes.
As he's doing the prayer, he also pulls out a token of the Sockabuskin made of opal and onyx.
Nice.
And when he's done, may us all be part of the honest guiles for this month.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
What if you know Merrick?
Is it
That's what I keep
appropriate?
wondering.
What if you
Is
let
it
Merrick ride you?
appropriate to clap after somebody has given a prayer?
But once his 10 minutes is done, he quickly pulls everything back together. He pins the sock and buskin onto his cloak, and then you watch as it starts to turn into a blue crystal, and then it seeps into the cloak.
Oh, that's cool.
After a couple of more, about an hour's more journey, you see a Goliath just standing in the middle of the road.
Do I recognize him as someone?
Give me a... What would that be?
Either intelligence or history. Straight intelligence or history.
It'd be an intelligence check.
It's just your intelligence modifier.
First thing Damien's doing is grabbing the hilt of the great sword.
10.
10?
Mm-hmm.
You don't recognize him.
You don't remember Pop Pop?
I'm assuming he's the same age as Sieg was. The way he was talking about the elders.
The elders are so old. Old as shit.
His mother can't even move.
He never said that.
She did.
He said she was very old.
Said she can't move.
Oh.
I mean, there's a couple nobles in town that don't move either.
Well, true.
And they're just fat.
Could also be arthritis or something. Stuck to a chair. Which is very pitiful to see.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys continue up to the Goliath?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As you get there,
I
he
will.
he takes the sword off of his shoulder and tip down into the ground. And So, the elders. They will see you.
Yay! Hi.
Where's your friend? So you were going to bring...
He motions and coming from behind, dragging a huge box.
This is what we do.
Comes the guy out of the woods, and he plops the box down in front of you. And this is where you leave your weapons.
All right.
And they open the box, and it's just empty.
I'm the first person to put my weapons in the box.
Stick my crossbow in there.
Crystal looks, and he pulls out a small club and tosses it in.
I have my crossbow in there.
I'll put the evident weapons first off, the great sword and the 5 javelins in there. I would like to keep the dagger. I'm not going to be subtle about it, because the dagger stays on the hip. But I will leave it there. I'll give it to you when we reach. Currently, we would be unarmed. It's my job to protect him. I would rather, as good faith, my favorite weapon is in there. But I would like to keep this until we reach the elders.
Would it make you happier if my weapon was in there too?
A bit.
I
don't know you, so
he puts it into the
we're not
and
friends,
lets it
we're
drop.
enemies.
And when you hear it hit, it is one of those. He puts the tip in and just lets it go, and it makes a huge clatter, and everything sort of bounces in it.
Nice.
And he
My
Nice.
crossbow!
Take it out, flip it over, and hand the hilt to him.
I don't touch your weapon.
And I toss it in.
when you toss it in, the other guy like closes up the case, and he takes a wooden peg and a hammer and pops the peg into a spot, and he puts the hammer back on his thing, and he just picks up the whole box and puts it on his shoulder. And you follow me. And the giant starts to lumber off, and then he realizes, like, it is one of those, like, after a couple of steps, he turns, and he he stops for a second, and then it is the obvious,
Stop, I have little legs!
the slow walk.
I remember walking next to 6-foot people.
Isn't it fun? Walking next to anybody?
One of these where you walk faster and they walk slower because you're trying to keep at the same pace.
Yeah.
I'm taking 3 steps to my 1. Stop.
Yeah, that's basically what's going on with the 7.5 foot tall Goliath, like, just lumbering through, and it is the, like, well,
Fucking up. Andy has cartoon legs right now where it's just a constant circle looking like Sonic.
and you travel for another probably 4 hours, and he does lead you off of what would be the path, and you start trekking into the woods, and then after a couple of minutes the woods start to like dissipate, and you do see that there are more mountainous and some caves. And he passes a couple of the cave entrances, and he stops at one, and they all look the same. They're all very, like, there's nothing special about any of them. But he stops at one, and he's, the elders will meet you here.
Okay.
Are they inside or are they coming to this place?
They are inside. And at this, the one guy takes the box and, like, sets it down at the entrance. Me and him, we will wait here with your stuff.
Thank you. So I guess we can just go in. Okay.
As you enter the cave, there are a few torches that have lit the area. It is damp. There's a little bit of moisture coming from the ceiling. And it is a fairly large opening. Easily the 7-foot Goliath would not have had to duck. And as you go through, it starts to open up into a huge chasm. And you see makeshift huts that are lining the walls with what looks like a small street in between the two rows. As you are going through the area, Goliaths are sticking their heads out of the huts and looking. Some of them are little kids, and when the kids start to come out, like, a larger hand like reaches out and grabs the shoulder and like pulls them back in.
Jeez.
And it's like watching any, like, even for normal humans, it's like watching a normal child like run away and like a hand that's comparable size. So for you guys, watching a 4-foot kid like start to run off, and for you it's 4 foot is like, oh, that's a large kid. No, this is like a 4-year-old that the hand comes out and like, no. Charlie understands it as there's a lot of giant being spoken, and it is the, like, you hear the hush of like, oh, outsiders, can we trust them?
The fuck are the pink skins here for?
And then, like, you hear some of the, like, kids are like, but I want to play with them. They're my size. And it's like, no, you might hurt them. Or they might hurt you.
In that case, they would hurt me. So.
Listening to this, I just repeat back to them. They're just scared because they don't trust us yet. That's what they're mumbling.
It's understandable.
And you go a little bit further into this shanty town, and you can see that there's a definite like center tent, because it does start to branch out a little bit more, and in the middle there is one single tent, and then it continues to go around it.
I believe the one singular tent is the elder.
Take a guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are you just gonna open
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna knock on the
Yeah.
post?
yeah.
When you knock on the post, in common, you hear, "You may enter."
I go in.
So lead the way.
Inside, there's a small fire pit. The fire is going. And in this large center tent, there are 4 older-looking Goliaths, and 2 really young Goliaths, both with weapons. The older Goliaths are all like covered up in rugs or skins, and the 2 younger ones are definitely like they're just standing there with spears.
Guard duty.
And one of the there's of the 4 elders, 2 are male and 2 are female. One of them is a little heavier, but she's also like, you couldn't really say that she's that heavy as much as like the skin has like started to drag down the face so bad that like it looks like fat jowls, but they are not fat jowls.
Yeah.
They're like 500 years old.
And one of the men look up and you asked for an audience.
So did. We are seeking information on Dwarven ruins that may be around here.
Right. Dwarven ruins. First, Charlie,
Mm-hmm.
we heard Sig passed.
He did. I tried to save him, and then he got caught in it, and then he saved me instead.
Then I tried to save him.
Mm-hmm.
As per family, we will give you stuff. As his mother and father have passed.
Oh. Sad.
His brother, we are unsure of. Thus, you are last of any family of his.
I understand.
If his brother returns, his brother obtains everything, as you are an outsider.
Mm-hmm. I understand that completely.
Dwarven ruins. There are 4 or 5 in the vicinity.
That isn't there. There was a specific thing we were looking
Was it on the map or was it in his...
Oh, he had it written. It was on the old map, but not the new map. Mm-hmm.
What size are you looking for when it comes to these ruins?
We're not really sure.
Yeah, we're not really sure. We're trying to find a source.
It's one of the ruins that was in older maps, but it's no longer on any of the newer maps.
They might not remember.
It was south of here ish.
We're also looking for any lead of these small mechanical beetles might be coming from.
I'll conjure a example of one again. And pass it.
They all sort of stare at it. As you conjure it, the two younger guys both sort of like get startled. But when they realize that you're not doing anything harmful, they stop.
Right. There's a reason why I took hold person in the spell, just in case.
The elders all sort of look at it for a second, and they converse in a language that is not giant and not common.
I don't want to scare him anymore.
Is it possibly one of the languages down on those islands? Not the lamprey or whatever.
The
Right.
Yeah.
No. Does anybody speak Velis?
Mm-mm. I don't.
Oh,
So as they like converse for a second, the one we have not seen beetles or bugs made of metal in our area. We cannot help with that. We do know where Dwarven ruins are, and due to Charlie being Illibrid's family, we will help with what we can.
Didn't he mark it on the map though?
I mean, I think we had a shared map.
Yeah.
So.
Didn't he mark it on there though?
He did, but he had the map.
Yeah, so I had my map.
Oh.
Very rudimentary.
If I may, do you know if any of the ruins still have either elves or dwarves in them still?
We have not seen dwarves in the vicinity. And again, they speak in that strange language, and one of them.
Je ne sais quoi.
It's very much like listening to. You might think that you hear like a semblance of like something
like
you
Latin.
understand, but it's
We're
like,
hearing
it's
the
so
old Latin of common.
Yeah. But it's so awkward that you're like, wait, that can't be what they were, because like the word makes no sense in the concept of what they were possibly talking
Why the
about.
hell are they talking about pineapples?
But one of them finally, one of the females, last dwarf seen was few hundred years in store.
No story.
In the story, who's the dwarf?
He has no name. he tried with others to take us as slaves,
What is this? Duke Lord.
and we slaughtered him,
Dark
and
Lord
his
or
head
something.
was used as a cup.
His head was used as a cup.
I approve.
The head was passed down for a few years before broken.
Bone will eventually do that.
He
The strong will survive.
Sieg was looking for for something and symbolizing Durgadin.
Durgadin,
Durgadin.
dwarf, was a smith that tried to become a god.
Mm-hmm.
And no very pale elves in the area either. With almost alabaster skin.
Sometimes a shimmer around them.
They converse again for a second. And one. You speak not of elf, but more of
Shadow
fae.
Fae.
Yes, the Shadow Fae.
Mm-hmm.
I love predetermined info dump.
They come and go. They avoid us as we do not take kindly to their trickery.
And they're even more powerful this month.
Mm-hmm.
Understandable. I'm trying to figure out because they said there's multiple dwarven ruins. Trying to narrow it down so we don't have
Well,
to
if
search
there
out
is a
4,
way.
5, 7, 12.
I thought he specifically pointed out an area on the map, and I figured I would.
That was on Sieg's old map.
Yeah, but he pointed it out.
His map is a small little section of an area
Oh.
that Sieg was using as an overlay of, about 10 days north of here, or 20 days north of here.
Okay.
Or rather, 20 miles.
Sorry, that's what I was misunderstanding
Yeah.
then.
And Sieg died with the map, so.
You still have your small map.
Right.
Give me a intelligence check.
Me or him?
Anybody except for Damien.
Nicola or Charlie.
Do it.
Nice.
23?
You remember that part of what Sieg was looking at also was a Dwarven Fortress.
That's right.
Yes. Dwarven Fortress.
Fortress. Again, they speak in Velis for a few minutes. And one. Fortress. There is one. Not far.
Awesome.
Might be dangerous.
How many days from here?
Hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
What type of dangers?
You've heard the story of how East Hollow fell.
Orcs came into your
Mm.
camp, right?
No, they chased off the orcs. Was it the ogres?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
The ogres came from the area of the fortress.
Mm.
Oh,
They might not use Fortress, but they came from that direction.
or sends it out to destroy things.
I warn you of dangers, as little Charlie is dear to our community.
Oh.
And we would be very saddened to see her pass. But if it's to be, then Cryfella will take her property.
I'm sure Crystal.
And
behind-
Crystal from the back
behind
going,
us is like
louder for the people in the back, motherfucker!
Crystal in the back's like that's
Somebody understand, finally! I'm staying here, damn it!
So, lots of ogres in that direction.
Sounds like you two can have some revenge.
Probably.
But on days there, hard to tell, as your little feet travel slower.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
just a general good direction would be what we would need then.
From here, you go south by southwest. More south than west.
Okay.
How many days would one of your people take to get there?
He turns and looks at one of the younger ones, and in Giant, so Charlie understands it, he asked, "How long does it take you to get to the Dwarven Encampment?" And the younger one, like, he thinks for a second and responds, and then the elder, it takes him roughly 2.5 days. So for you, I say 4, 5,
That's what I would guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
at most 6.
Is it up on a mountain or anything distinguishing it from the area?
They converse again with the younger one. And Charlie, you get the gist that the younger one is one of the people that probably have found it recently.
Mm-hmm.
And because it seems like it's a more recent
Find.
find from the way that they're discussing it.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a pathway that leads to it. Good for possible ambush.
That was good to know.
But
when
not patrolled that he knows of.
did he happen to see how I asked the young one how if he saw how many ogres or whatever were there?
the young one turns and looks at the elder, and the elder, like in giant, like
Well, I was
tells him to answer, and the young one in giant tells you there were no ogres when I looked.
Okay.
So for everybody else, there's a bunch of gravel talk.
Which is hilarious coming from a 13-year-old.
Charlie spits because of the phlegm.
I repeat it back in common for you guys.
Appreciate it.
It's much appreciated.
Is there any other information you need to know, or is that good enough for y'all?
Yeah, that's pretty much, guys, where we need to go and what we can keep an eye out for.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie,
Yes.
you will wait while we get Illibrid's things.
Of course.
And they make a motion, and one of the young ones like goes to the edge of the tent, and they stick their head out, and for a couple of seconds you hear some gravel noises, and he comes back in and like takes back his post, and you wait probably 10 minutes or so,
Mm-hmm.
and they bring a small trunk and set it in front of you.
I thank them. Can I lift this trunk?
Probably not.
Can I drag this trunk?
What's your strength score?
Not very high. It's about a 10.
I gotta check something. If Pandy just turned into a pack mule, I'm gonna laugh.
Andy's strength is,
There is, I don't know if it was related to you, but there is another Goliath south of here by the name of Firebrand. He is demanding that the elders come to him to join his tribe.
Pandy's got a 14.
I just thought you might want to know this.
They also say that
Your
your
children.
children were kidnapped by orcs.
Do you know why he's saying this?
Again, make a verse in Velis for a little bit. And Firebrand
Was apparently an ass.
is young and would like the elders to travel with him, but realize he does not, that we have trouble keeping up in movement now.
Mm-hmm.
And if he wants to be a roving, nomadic tribe, we have no position with him. The younger elders, who are not as wise as us, could join. Those might have, if they were interested and found him. If he finds us, we will give anyone a choice to join him if they wish.
Mm-hmm.
On the children, our children are safe. His children are nomads. His children wander. Wandering children can be picked up.
I see.
Orcs. Not always evil. They have been known to take care of children. They would probably return children if asked and shown that you could take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
We have had issues with orcs when East Hollow was fully formed.
Mm-hmm.
Not of them running us out or raiding, but of accidentally keeping children that had wandered too far.
So in other words, of just trying to protect the kids.
Keep them as
Other workers
Mm-hmm.
or warriors.
Firebrand is young, ill-tempered. He sees it as a slight, as he has not had the generations that we have to discuss things and know more about our fellow habitants.
Understood.
Yes.
Is there anything else you would like from us, the elders?
Just the territory on the way to this fortress. How far in is it under your protection?
Not far from where we are is protected.
Okay.
When you leave the cave, things might happen.
Understood.
We have sentries that do patrol, but we are few, as many have gone missing during the onslaught of ogres.
Mm-hmm. We've been fighting the ogres for a while then.
Not necessarily fighting, might be fleeing.
Mm.
Some might have made a new home, like Firebrand did, and do not know that we survived.
Mm-hmm.
We have done many funerals this past 40 days.
Mm-hmm.
Those that get sick from travel, those with injuries, and those who just perished.
Sad.
I believe that is all of them. Outside of what Charlie is waiting on.
Mm-hmm. Well, I already
And
got
that's
it.
the chest in front of her.
That's right.
I can't pull it by myself.
I can.
Candy's got a strength of 14, so
He can carry 210 pounds.
I can also summon a disc that can carry 500 pounds for an hour.
That is more than I can carry.
oh yeah,
Tensor's floating disc.
you should give that and let me borrow it.
Only a couple 100 pounds more, though.
Mm.
Sig could carry more than Tensors.
So you're just gonna carry it out to begin with?
Try.
I will carry it out to begin with for her.
Okay.
So she's not.
I'm trying to help though.
I'm holding it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
She's just under it, like.
So you carry it out of the... Do you go completely out of the cavern?
Thank the elders for their
I
time.
will give a small bow before I leave.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It is good seeing you again, Charlie.
You too.
We welcome you back.
I appreciate it.
If
Better get these nails.
Gilbert's brother returns, we will send someone to the city to find you.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
Give her just open the chest, see what's inside.
Yeah, once we get outside.
It's a giant Jack in the Box, but it just eats her instead.
Mimic.
Sig's last prank.
So you carry everything outside? You go outside. You said you're going to open it.
Yes.
Still sitting there is the two
I'm waiting on my
Goliaths.
sword.
And when you get out, the one that was sitting on it stands up, and he pulls out the hammer, and the other one. So, you ready to leave?
We are.
Open. And he takes the hammer and like pops the peg, and like catches it as it comes out the other side, lifts it open, and me first, and he reaches and grabs the one giant sword and starts like, as he starts to pull it, you see all of the muscles in his arm tense for a second, and you take the fact that this thing is probably like, not only is it huge, but it is
Heavy as
definitely
fuck.
heavier than it should be.
It is oversized.
Mm-hmm.
And he lifts it up and like puts it on his shoulder, and he's, now you can get your stuff.
Javelin, dagger. My sword.
And what's inside this box?
So you open the chest.
Yeah.
Inside the chest is a hammer,
Okay.
a small anvil, the start of chainmail, a pair of gauntlets, and a small bag with a couple of gems in it.
Hey.
I mean, I knew he was into all that kind of stuff, so it didn't surprise me too much that there was gems and stuff in it, but I didn't realize he was starting on some chainmail.
Do you go filtering through the gems?
Mm-hmm.
Inside the bag with the
How much
gems
is my inheritance?
is also a small wooden statue.
What's the statue of?
It's looks like a very crude carving of a family.
Aww!
Okay, that just brought up.
Aww!
You planned this.
Oh, Brian had nothing to do with this.
Oh, yeah.
I just like that he knew of something that Sig would do.
Oh no, the thing is like, this was all wrote. If C got here, this was all gonna be here also.
Gotcha.
How many members are on the family?
Mm-hmm.
There are two what looks like bigger Goliaths and 2 younger looking Goliaths.
Him and his brother.
Mm-hmm. So sad.
Okay. What the fuck?
What?
I thought Sieg had a sister. I may have forgot to type that in, but I thought it was older sister and a younger brother. It's one of those, if I did, it's like, oh fuck, what the hell did she do?
She's the one who sent the ogres.
What the fuck?
Big reveal.
Is this chainmail gigantic?
I mean, it's not. It's not
It's not a complete.
a completed thing. Like
a half chain. Like,
it's not even that. Like it looks more like something where he was dabbling on trying to figure out how to work chainmail properly.
trying to make a dice bag.
If you
He was becoming Johnson Titty Smith III.
if you like actually take a lot of time filtering through the chainmail, you will find that some of the links are not put together properly. Like this is definitely the starting of Sieg's concept of getting into blacksmithing.
He was such an adorable child.
There's also a pair of gauntlets.
Yes. Those are...
A lot
And
bigger
anvil.
than your hands.
Yes.
And an anvil.
Yeah, that's part of the weight on that is the anvil.
I believe it.
But hey, now we can just shove Charlie in the box.
Yay, a secret hiding spot.
And then throw her in the river.
Mm-hmm.
Load on back to the city, child.
Yeah. I wish there was a way to send this elsewhere. Instead of
Yeah.
carrying it the whole time.
Always leave it.
Yeah.
Just carry the gems, leave the rest for
Mhm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
That's just rude as fuck.
It's rude as fuck.
Well,
If you would like, I could send it to my mistress. For a fee.
What would she do with it? Keep it safe?
I would guess that she would put it in a corner. I have no idea.
Would she give it back to me if I asked for it? Because it's possibly gonna have to be given back to them.
She will charge you a holding fee.
How much is the holding fee?
You would have to ask her.
Okay.
Stone.
What?
The stone he used to talk to her.
Oh, yes, I would.
Yo, bitch, how much it gonna cost?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna say bitch though. I'll be like, hey, can I borrow that? And ask her?
It would be unwise for me to let a child hold my sending stone.
She's of age.
To be fair, she is an adult.
How about you ask her if you're not so comfortable? Ask her for me.
She might be an adult to you. The giants say otherwise.
It's fair, we all look like children next to them, so.
Just to point out, the 4 foot tall ones were children. Those were children.
They do not keep humans as pets.
No.
I didn't see any.
I don't think they're dwarves.
Huh.
The other Goliath is, I'll keep you as a pet. You're staying.
Creepy.
You would like to know the average price of her holding fees?
Mm-hmm.
She has a room of holding.
1 second. And he like pulls out the stone
It's what's her face?
and he,
Redhead.
Dude, if it's the redhead, that'd be great.
mistress, I have a question. And it takes a minute
Fine, what do you want?
Mm-hmm.
and it's,
I was
Yes.
sunbathing the nude on top of the shop.
can I help you? We have a chest full of oddities that needs to be taken care of.
Sword.
What would be the fee per day that you would charge to hold on to this?
Per day.
Damn.
Be a one-time payment. Jeez.
I know.
There's a wait, and how big is the chest? And a small child could fit in it easily. Copper a day, plus the sending fee. Yes, mistress! And I have more money for you! Oh, they've paid you again? No! I received payment from another gentleman!
Crystal was
He was
propositioned.
propositioning.
He was propositioned.
He was.
Took it like a champ. The gold.
So, 1 copper a day is what she will charge you.
That's like $1, right? A day.
Pretty much.
So I'll take the gems and the carving of the family and put it inside there and keep the gem bag with me. And that's gonna be, how long would it? It's gonna be 25 days. It took 25 days to.
You're looking at about another 32, 35 golds.
32 gold.
No.
Copper.
Plus the sending fee, which we don't know yet.
Which would be 3 silver.
And 2 copper.
2. So, man, it's not a lot.
Okay.
But what is
Sorry.
the sending fee?
30 or
The sending
between
fee
30 and 35.
is 2 gold.
I'll just hand them. I guess I'll just.
2 gold, 4 silver.
Yeah. 2 gold, 4 silver.
If you do not pay for the handling when you pick it up, she will auction it off.
Okay.
So it's pay when you pick up, not pay before.
That is correct.
Oh.
So then just hand him 2 gold.
Now you need to mark how many days.
Okay. 2 gold to him.
So you hand him 2 gold.
Mm-hmm.
He takes the time and he sets up the thing, and he places the chest in the middle of the circle. He then pulls out the pouch of platinum that he got, and he pulls out 5 platinum and puts it on top of the chest and closes it, and he keeps the other 5 platinum on him. And you're 2 gold! He takes the 2 gold and puts it on top of the chest as well. And he then pulls the stone back out. Mistress, we are ready for you! And again, after a couple of seconds, the circle lights up in blue. Everything in it disappears, and the circle, like, instantly, even though it's drawn in the dirt and everything, the dirt smooths itself, and
Nice.
That's a nifty trick.
You said the total payment for that would be.
Right about.
you
2
have
gold,
no
4
idea.
silver.
You have no
It
idea
is.
yet.
Okay.
But
You will have to keep count of how many days go by, and that will be...
But just with what you've got now, you'd be fine for a whole while.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I was.
A while.
Well, okay, so 1 gold piece is 100 copper.
So you're good for 100 days with just 1 gold piece.
Mm-hmm.
Am I doing that right?
sorry.
10 copper makes a silver.
Yes.
10 silver makes a
Gold.
gold. So 1 gold
That
is
is
100
days.
days. 1 platinum is 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So We should be fine.
I figured I'd be fine. It was
So
just...
currently, like, just off of what we got paid by the stranger, you're good for 10,000 days.
That's a long time. I don't think I'm gonna need 10,000 days worth of that.
You're good for a few years. On the road again.
So you're gonna start your journey.
South-southwest.
And we're gonna end the day's adventure leaving the encampment. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Problem is, he's this way in real life.
It's talking about me.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
What,
'Cause he's-
propositioning for gold?
No, putting my foot in my mouth, apparently.
robotic muse. Is that somebody you know?
Yeah,
Okay.
Christian.
Oh, that's Christian?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, that's where we're going to end today's session. I want to thank everybody for coming out and watching. If you're watching on YouTube, you know what in the world to do. We'll be coming back in a little bit with some Call of Duty later tonight. I want to thank everybody for coming out. You guys are wonderful. We love having you around. If you've missed any of this, you're more than welcome to go to the YouTube or look at the VODs and catch all of this for the full story. I'm Showdown Tabris, also known as Boomer. I hope you have a wonderful day or wonderful night wherever you are. And until next time, everyone, peace.
One of those.